and that's what I'm doing again. So now you're at yahoo.co.uk. Now, the database we want to log on into is the next thing we are going to do here now. You can see it saying select database, and since we are bothered about Lagos State government transactions, we click that which is expected of us, which is Lagos State government. You know, going into elsewhere is how do I say it? It's like you are trespassing. Now, the user group is displaying ABC Infinity because the system recognizes me as a staff of ABC LLP. Now, service code. I believe the colleague of mine must have taken us through what the service code is and why it is being used. Now, the service code for my level is 39014, and then we log in. Now, when we log in, the page will open. This page has opened to us now. Now, there's to our left side, you can see transaction, maintain, report, inquiries, and systems. Search for individual, search for company. Now, it depends on what you want to do. Now, for example, if you want to confirm a transaction, if somebody comes to you and says he wants to confirm the transaction, whether this transaction is in the system or not, that is what you do under the platform of transaction. Then if you want to maintain the details of the taxpayer or yourself, that's where you do at the maintain. Reports, when you want to run reports for your agencies, or you want to generate reports on behalf of the potential taxpayer. Inquiries, system, it just depends on whatever activity you want to perform. Now, for the purpose of this training, we want us to run a report, and the report I intend to do is what we call the customer remittance statement. Now, that customer remittance statement serves as your, how do I say it now, like your bank statement. You know, sometimes we walk into the bank and we request for our bank statement. We want to see what has been going on in our accounts. And then you do this service your own reconciliation and see whether something funny has been going on behind you or not. So now the customer statements we want to run. To run that, you need to generate the payer ID of who you are, the customer you want to attend to. Now I have a customer payer ID here as 1414005. Now we will go to reports because we are trying to run a report, and then we'll work on, if you can see, collection by agency, collections by agency again, then customer remittance statements for a company, for individual, depending on whoever comes in. And then let's just assume the person is an individual. Now the one we're running, the payer ID is for an individual. So at this point, we just put in that payer ID. The payer ID is 14, this is just for the demo, 1414005. Now, the start date and the end date. You know, if you go into the bank and you say, I want my customer statement, they will not tell, they will ask you from what period to what period, because they can't run a report of 10 years for you. So the same thing applies here. We need to specify the dates we want to. For purpose of analysis, let's just see if we can do from 1st of, let's put this at January, then this date of 2013, maybe let's put 2010 or 2011, let's leave it at 2010, and then we can leave today's date as the end date. Now, all we do at this point is to click on submit. Now the system is going to the various tables to pull out all the transactions, all the details that this payer ID must have been used for as payments for Lagos State government. Now it's how saying transaction completed, click here to view. So this is what this person with the payer ID 1414005 has since 2010 January to date. 19th of November 2013. So now, all we can just do at this point is just send it to your printer. But I want to sound a warning to us that things like this are confidential. It's not supposed to be seen by anybody apart from the owner. Do you understand what we are trying to say? So now, this is the customer remittance statement. Even when you get back to your offices, you can just follow this process again and try run a customer remittance statement on your own payer ID. And then you should see, if ever you have made payments to Lagos State government, you should see your transactions clearly written in this format, depending on what revenue item you paid for. I believe we all understand what we have just done. Then there's another one we call the desktop version. That one is a bit different from here, but I think at this level, it's only the online version that you probably may be using in your offices. So, I don't know whether we have...
Sorry, I'm very confused now.
Okay, sir.
Such is from 2010, but I'm seeing trainers. But this 20 is preceding the date of the site. Off the period
It started from the beginning. It started from the beginning. It started from the beginning.
Everybody's transaction for yet
Obviously, Mr. Samuel started transacting with Lagos State government September 2006. But usually, the ideal thing is that it's to give you transaction within the stipulated period of time. It's just for, how can I say, for a demo. So I don't know whether that is taking care of whatever that was now as regards this. Okay, to say thank you for this, and we hope you are.
We thank you for being patient in Son. And definitely, I want to say that I believe that you have gained one thing or the other that will make your work move smoothly. What I just want to mention, we have something for you on page 38 of this pamphlet. And I'm the last person that will talk before we come, because I know where I am. On page 38, it's there for us to read. There are some things, when I sat down here, I had some things. When the lady was putting in the password, somebody asked her, what's the password? And she kept mute. She did not say anything. These are very vital things. Your password is your key. And I'm sure when we are taking website earlier on the day, somebody was telling us that we have to keep our security code carefully. I think we mentioned something about security code. That you can use it to change your password. All these things are very, very important. You might even recall that she says some information being shown and confidential information. Now you are now exposed to critical things, to confidential information, to things that are vital. So there is need for us to be conscious of that fact, to keep our passwords secure, to make sure that our credentials, that is your PID, your password, your security code, are kept safe. Because, as you have been told, everything you are doing is being logged. In fact, that's why they want to make sure that you log in, you create this, you do that, so that we know who is doing what. If you don't keep your credentials secure, and someone else make use of your credential, the system is going to think that it's you that is doing that particular thing. And if it's an illegal thing or something that can put someone into trouble, let me use it like that, then it's you that will hear it. So we want you to take note of all this. Because we have spent so much time, I will not go into the nitty-gritty of some of these things, that how we can create strong password and all that. But we are sure that if you keep note of all these things on page 38, you refer to it all the time, there's page 38 yes. You refer to it all the time, we are very sure that you are going to enjoy the system more. They are just there, it's not up to a page, but they are very, very vital to using this platform. Extremely vital. So we keep our password, I keep on stressing on that password to keep this strong. We deployment our computer. Then the last statement there is the one I want us to take. The last statement inside this one, it said contact technical support for abnormal strain device performance. Anytime you find that your system is not working well, please feel free to call us. I'm sure you have been given the help desk phone numbers and some other phone numbers. Yes, it's inside this business. Yeah. Please, even while I'm saying that one now, I will quickly digress about these numbers because I want to say something about the receipt. When you are validating receipt, if someone should bring a receipt to you that you should validate. Yes, the receipt will have some numbers here, but you should stick to the numbers you see here or the other numbers of the people you have contacted. Because someone bringing a fake receipt can even bring a fake number. And as you are calling the number, I say, yes, we know it. So please take note of that. So as I've said, this one to the technical support, you contact us, we get to you, and I'm sure some of you here can testify that we do come if we have issues. Just call us, even as we are talking, and some of our men are field. So please feel free to call us, and I'm sure it will be very okay. Once again, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
The first presentation is about security. Enter the ID. Then somebody can change the password. What I'm trying to say is that it's possible for somebody to have access, like especially many of us, many people are using Yahoo, email, whatever. And then if your email is being hijacked and you send security code, the security code is on Yahoo, whatever. Then somebody now have the access. What I'm saying is that before you change the password, because that place, that interface is open. Maybe there should be a more word. I wanted to ask you whether that was the first presentation. Password should also be easy to get. I can get your data and take the password. Then you will not be able to use that.
Okay, I want to say something on what she has said. But before I say that one, sir, sorry for calling you and then we are sorry about that. But with this question asked now, I will just tell you something. Nothing is foolproof, but I can tell you that you raised a vital issue has been raised by what you said. But let me tell you how to keep this thing safe. You know, I was telling you here, your password. For your email, if you use a fairly or a strong password, believe you me, it's going to be very difficult for people to hijack or to hack your email. It's going to be very difficult, and the way to do that one is not too difficult. It's just that because of time, we can tell ourselves how to create a strong password that will keep our email safe. So, and then when you are typing your email, you make sure that people are not spying you. When you are typing your email password, you make sure that when you finish your email, you log out. Only of us just close at the X. We think, no, you should log out in your email. Even in your EBS manager or whatever, you log out. If you do all those things, all those precautions, especially those things you put on data, believe you me, it's sufficient to keep your credentials, your email safe. So now, let me now correct something for you. It's very typical hijack or to hack. So, and this is how you go about it. The first thing you do is that you form a sentence, any sentence at all. Any sentence at all. You can say, for some of us can say, I love Jesus because if you form a sentence, or Allah is the greatest, this will have something to it. Just form a sentence. Pick the first letter of that sentence or the last letters. Anything you form from that sentence will be a word that is not in the dictionary. That's the first characteristics of a strong password. Any password that you form that is in the dictionary is not a password. Name of people in Yoruba or in Hausa or Igbo or any language is not a password because there is a dictionary for it. So you form a sentence, that's the first thing. form a sentence, pick the first letters. Once you pick the first letters, this will not be in anybody's dictionary. Now, what do? You add characters that is on top of your keyboard there. You know there's some sign, dollar sign, and this thing. You can add it to the beginning or to the end. So that one, you have a very strong password now. You can now ask me that, how do I now create the password for Facebook, for EBS Manager, for Yahoo, for this? Because you must never use the same password everywhere. You must never use it. Let me tell you something. I quickly digress. I spent a minute on this digression. Recently, Adobe, the people doing this PDF that we are using, they were hacked. Many of us here in this room, I can easily prove it, but this is not the forum for that. Many of us here in this room have our password on that list. 142 million passwords have been exposed from Adobe. Many of us in this room have our password on it. They are there. So, what happens? What they found out was that the same people are using the password they use on Adobe is what they use on Facebook. It's the one they use at Yahoo, the one they use at Google. So immediately Adobe is hacked, your Facebook is hacked, your Yahoo is hacked. You should never use the same password everywhere. So the question now for our gathering is that how do I use a password that will remember everywhere? And I will tell us now. The first thing I told you was that we form a sentence, bring the first letters or the last letters. That will give you about 8 or 9 words that you don't need to cram it because you know the sentence. Then you now add dollar sign or something to it at the back or the front. Do you understand? That's the next step now is that if it's Yahoo, for example, I'm just giving a suggestion, you can come with a better word. You can put Yahoo YN in front of the password or at the back. For Facebook, you can put FB in front, or you can put it in the middle. All those passwords will separate everything because immediately you put something there, it separates it. And once you should note our password, you put capital letters and small letters together. Once you do all those ones, it is very, very difficult for anybody to handle. And you can easily remember. You form the sentence. You can say, I love my wife, Priscilla, because she's very good. And form the sentence. I'm telling you what to do. So that's how you go about it. So please, let's take note of that. And like that, you can secure our password.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Therefore, allow me to stand on the existing. Please allow me to stand on the existing protocol. First and foremost, we want to appreciate the Lagos State government for giving us the opportunity to serve. Once again, we want to thank ABC for organizing this workshop, basically to enhance our performance on our job. Again, we want to thank the coordinator and all the facilitators for the well-delivered lectures, and to all my colleagues. I want to thank all of us for finding out time to be here. We have been chosen to be somewhere else, so it's a sacrifice to be there. Even especially when we got here, we don't have a place to park. We have to be going about, so it's a sacrifice. So we want to thank all of us, and above all, we want to return all the glory to God Almighty for the gift of life and for His sustaining gift upon each and every one of us. So thank you for coming and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for use of information. Before we are going to give the Mr. Olushem. Mrs. Ilori. Mr. Osipora. Ms. Kudras. Mr. Karim. Mr. Oyewole. Mrs. Rashida. Mr. Gaval. Mr. Lanio. Mr. Badmos. Mrs. Fashim. Mr. Study Police. Study Uzukoya. Mr. Uzukoya. Mrs. Abari. Mrs. Utsman. Mr. Joseph. I don't know. Mrs. Akino. Mr. Akinde. Mrs. Adeto. Mrs.
Shodun Caroline.
Miss David.
Yeah.
Mrs. Ekaite.
Mrs. Ekaite.
Mr. Olasile.
Mr. Olashele.
Mr. Ogundari. Mrs. Abolaji.
Mrs. Abolaji.
Mr. Hassan.
Shonoya.
Mr. Hassan. Mrs. Oluwole. Mrs. Abiola. Mrs. Abisola. Mr. Mr. Oladipo. Miss John Peace. Engineer Karim. And Mr. Bakari.
Mr. Oshoan.
I believe all our all receive our certificates. Yeah, please.
For those that know it, receive their certificates.
If you have not received your certificate, just stay behind please. If you have an error or you've not received, just hold your certificate.